Up her bow, dip down, up below, my billy boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
I nearly pressed end broadcast then. It nearly happened.
That's when that happens when you're distracted.
How are you, man? What's going on?
Oh, yeah, same old, same old. Getting stuff done, kicking ass.
Camel's launching soon. It's gonna be fun.
List on Rumble. That's what we're talking about, yeah?
Do you see the difference between us? I just said Camel's launching soon. How cool is that? And you said, well, I've got 100 subs on Rumble.
No.
I think of the other man. No, you think of yourself.
120. It's pretty cool.
You were something else. All right, let's say hello, chat. Good to see people here from Camel's channel. Appreciate that. Sam Rogers is here. I got erection. Nicholas Gear. Mo Biggs is in the house. He says, Rob, if you're going to have Bancroft co-hosting, you need some late and gay emoji of some kind.
Yeah, I had to take a little toilet break, get some snacks, make a new tea.
We had to kick it back half an hour too. David Feeds here. Mel B, your wife. Jeremy Burt's bootleg Godzilla. What does buy one, back one mean? We'll get into it in a bit. Bancroft can explain it to us all. Timberwolf says, Aetheline's here. Good to see you, man. Timberwolf says, thanks to questions today on Twitter. Gave me some good insights and good morning. Good morning to you, man. Dave Brinks here. Dean's here. The Embrace 2 launching soon, I'd imagine. I don't know when the actual launch date is on that, but they broke 300 or 400 signups.
I don't think they've announced it yet. I have to finish the colors on my cover actually on that. I better get to that.
You got lots of work to do. For me too. Bretsky the Great. Sark is here. Scrolling down. Sean Furr is here.
Hello, darling.
Nora and Rad's in the house. Can you do a favor, Mike? Can you open the YouTube of the show? Just because I've got Twitter up in case anyone does members I don't see.
All right. 1 second.
Christian Sterling, good to see you as well, man. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to do a quicker, shorter show today just because of daylight saving here. Otherwise, we'd be streaming for like 4 or 5 hours in a row. It's just, it's enough. It's enough.
I do that anyway.
Yeah. All right. You good? You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right. What is this? What's happened here? What is this buy one, back one thing? And why are people freaking out about it?
Are they freaking out about it?
I think some people are.
I think, okay, I don't know
where did it start?
Buy one, it started with the Genesis crew on Telepathic Bunny's channel, I believe.
Yeah.
And as far as I can ascertain, buy one means you're going to buy from the big guys anyway. They know that. We know that. Yeah. Mo Biggs has a 2-month member chat. He says, Rob, there are better ways to remind us that you're an idiot than to open every show with that song. And Dean is a new member.
Dean, my man. Appreciate that, man.
And it says, welcome to Replicators. Did Dean write that?
No. That would be
Genuine has it right. He's like, I never saw anyone freaking out about it. It's all a bit overblown. Yeah, I don't think anyone's freaking out. I think that it's a little bit ambiguous because I think the idea is most people buy from the big 100K plus campaigns anyway. Consider backing, and I think the implication there being buying is more like you're buying cool product because it's like super professional and it's the top tier stuff, but you would back the smaller campaigns because you want to support them more than perhaps something else. That's where it gets a little confusing. To me, it's more like I'd be more inclined to look at it like, let's just try and get, like, it's not a bad thing to focus on getting eyeballs onto campaigns that have less than 10,000. I don't think that's a bad thing. Yeah, big guys, we mean big guys in CG, like people who get
Ethan,
over
John,
100,000.
Shane, Kenneth, like the pros, I guess.
Well, anyone who gets like, anyone who's on the Kings, anyone who gets close to or around 100,000, and obviously more than that. I guess, yeah. So some people took it as in, are you asking people to charity back smaller creators? Which, if that's the, like, if it does mean that, which I don't think it does, at least I hope it doesn't, I don't support that. I don't think charity backing people just to give them a boost just because they're struggling really helps anyone. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the creator. Yeah, like pity backing, David Feed says. Yeah, some people sort of interpreted it like that. And that's where people got a little bit like, hang on, I don't get into this. But as long as it's more just, let's just get some eyeballs on some guys who struggle. Because we looked at that book, what is it, Soltac, earlier?
Yeah.
A really good book, really, looks the part, but it's got, I don't know, what, like 16 backers or something on it?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, man? It just like it just goes to show you like how important promotion is. Like it really is the majority thing that you need to do to be successful. A decent
Well, it all has to work in tandem. You can't slack on one thing. Even when you get up to be a big guy, like, there's no guarantee just because you made a couple 100,000 on your last book, you're going to be making a couple 100,000 on your next. No guarantee at all. Like, you still have to keep that hype train going. There's a reason why even the biggest movie stars in the world, go and do press junkets and hit the, they hit the interviews and they do the hype train and they're part of that whole thing. And then these companies spend massive amounts of money on marketing.
What was the book called, Mike? I'll bring it up.
Soltac.
Soltac. Oh, we're two sign-ups away from 452. Oh, that'd be sweet.
Mo says that book is a good example of how you need YouTube and not just Twitter. Yeah, Twitter by itself is pretty much useless for promotion. Twitter is more, think of Twitter as more as your bulletin board and sort of just daily hangout place. It's not really a place to promote. Like, it's very rare that you're going to convince someone or inspire someone to back you just off Twitter. It will remind people if you've already marketed to them, say on YouTube or wherever. But yeah, Twitter by itself, it's like saying I've got a big TikTok. It's like, it doesn't mean anything.
This looks great though. I mean, like, the art looks fantastic. Like this is in particular looks exceptional. Yeah. Use this.
And it's not only just about having, Timberwolf says, yeah, you can have the best book, but if it's somewhere on the internet and nobody knows about it, it's like hump balls rolling around. But it's also about your presence on the internet. Like, you've got to inspire people to be thinking, wow, when this book comes out, I'm definitely getting it. And if you haven't done that, even if people do know about it, you can still have lackluster results. That's why YouTube is the best place to be, because it fosters this connection between the creator and the reader and the backer that I think goes much further than just straight up advertising. It's more like you get to become friends with a lot of people in the chat, so you can kind of hang out with them every day.
So okay, so this is slightly confusing a little in a sense, right? Because for a long time you could have made the argument that the home of CG was Indiegogo, right? That was kind of, we're all on Indiegogo, that's the thing. But over time, you've made the argument, and I'm sure everyone else realizes and agrees that it's actually YouTube that is a place where CG actually really is. But now, Mike, you're thinking about telling people to go to, what's it called? Bumble? What's it called?
Rumble.
Is that?
I mean, it's sort of the same thing. It's a YouTube. It's a video platform.
Yeah, but I mean, is it kind of like Kickstarter and Indiegogo? It's like, is that something? Is that more concerning?
No, not in any way. No, I think if you could get a lot of people watching you on Rumble, that's just a fantastic thing, because it seems to be a safer platform for people. I don't know what you have to do to get kicked off of Rumble, but it's probably something incredibly severe. Odyssey is another one. I've actually got 140 odd followers on Odyssey.
I just wanted to bring this up because Lethal Diva has said that multiple times, that Odyssey is better than Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble it's not very intuitive in terms of user friendliness. But no, I don't think that's an issue. The whole thing with why it's about, Comicsgate is happening on YouTube is about, that's where you get inspired. That's where people actually engage with creators and get to know the stories and get to, want to become part of it. It goes beyond just advertising. It's part of the whole marketing thing. So, I think a lot of people can be quite popular, but if they don't inspire people to support them, then they get subpar results as well. That's what happened with Sean Gordon Murphy. Everyone knew him. A lot of people knew about the book, but not as many people were inspired to support him and his product, because they didn't really know about it. It's like, what's Plot Holes? I don't know. It's by Sean Gordon Murphy. Well, it's not Batman,
Yeah, that's a common thing that people think that, because they drew Batman, that people are going to follow them anywhere. But the actual truth is, they just want Batman. That is the actual truth. Eric Grant, new member, thank you so much, man. Timberwolf says, it's sad, but it kind of human nature. I believe if Soltak would have a great start, then it would be more likely that the existing community orders it as well, just because it looks like it's in high demand. Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Everyone wants to back a winner.
Yeah, it's like when you see like Ninja launches and no one's backing it, and it's like, oh, well, you kind of like, you've really, really hurt yourself here. But like, do you know these people, Mike? Do I know these people? Should I?
Mad Ruth has been around forever. Mad Ruth is OG CG.
Yeah,
but again, like Mo said, just on Twitter, I wouldn't say he keeps a low profile. He's definitely actually gotten into it with some people over the years, but not like a huge name. Actually, let me search that. Let's see how many followers Mad Ruth has over on Twitter.
Tim will say it shouldn't be the prime factor, right? If you like it, order it, but it's not that simple, I guess. I really think, like, if people don't know who you are, like, it's really hard to sell your book, man. I mean, it sounds really, really simple.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to. It's not like you're going to a. It's not like you're going to a burger shop and you're like, oh, do I want the one with the pickles, or do I want this one? Like, it's not like that. These are pure indulgent kind of entertainment purchases. You have to go above and beyond to inspire people to support you and buy the book. And there's a million ways you can go about doing that. One of the best ways is people want to actually read your book. They feel invested in it, and building that, getting a large enough audience to that point is, I mean, that's the whole secret sauce. That's what we're doing here. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. And it's all of this stuff that we talk about all in one: the marketing, the promotion, the audience building, the creation. It's it's and Jasper brought up a good point earlier. It's also price point comes into it too.
Yep.
A lot of people don't necessarily want to spend large amounts of money on a first timer. That's the thing. Like, remember when I had a tweet that got escaped outside the Comicsgate bubble, and everyone was just couldn't believe I was talking about selling a single book for $20. They thought that was ridiculous. They thought that was just the most obscene thing ever. Actually, I was in the chat of a stream the other day where people were like, "Oh yeah, we're not looking to make a single dollar off this. We're just going to sell it for as cheap as it costs to make. We don't want to make any money. We're just trying to make art. We're not about profits or anything like that." And I was like, "Oh, I've stepped into a whole different realm of comic book making."
That's what it was like for me.
It was on Kickstarter. Yeah, what they were selling
before Comicsgate. Like, you guys are okay with creators making money over here? That's fucking amazing. Jasper says 260 is a successful campaign with not much marketing. Why do people circle back to shitting on Sean Gordon Murphy? He doesn't actively take shots at us. I think it's because he said he'd make $1 million, Jasper. I think that's what it comes back to.
It's because he said he'd make $1 million, maybe, or 500,000, and also because it's just a good demonstration of, I don't think we're shitting on him, we're just explaining the situation. He was like the biggest guy in comics at the time, in my mind. From when I see, like, he was just coming off his massive success with Batman, White Knight. Everyone was talking about him, everyone was loving him, but he that didn't translate into him being the biggest crowdfunder. So he's just like, it's a good example of showing that when it comes to crowdfunding, it's a different beast. And now that's been doubly highlighted in how successful Ripper is, coming in with his first ever comic making 3.7 million.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's like, if you hold up the two things, it really does show you that it's selling comics through YouTube and kind of, I know Ripper didn't do pure crowdfunding, but you know what I mean. And then all being tapped into the existing industry. It's like almost two different universes in a way.
Yep. We've got 50 people in here. If you can hit the like and subscribe button, that'd be awesome and appreciated. Christian Sterling says, Replicator, people need to put more thought into comic titles. It's more important than people think. I'd agree with you. What do you think, Mike? For sure.
Absolutely. Comic titles, logos. You shared a great like cover in our DMs.
Yeah.
Where it had like it's really cool art, and then the logo just makes it look like, oh, this is an indie book. You know, this is an indie book, and they didn't hire a graphic designer.
Should I bring it up?
If you want. I mean, I don't know if we want to like just rag on some random comic, but I mean, that happens. That happens a lot. It happens more often than it should. Probably more often than not. You'll have a really cool cover and then a subpar logo, but titles as well play into that. There's a reason why, like, they made it a thing to make that point in the McDonald's movie, that the reason why it was successful was the name McDonald's. On top of everything else, it has that feeling. Yeah, see, any graphic designer will be able to tell you why this is not this is not graphic design. Like, no graphic designer does this to
Great cover though, man. Like great cover,
their
great
logos.
colors, fantastic.
Good name, actually, Rainer. I dig it. It has a fantasy.
Meh, not for me.
It has a fantasy connotation to it. Let's get anyway, but yeah, it's not the worst I've ever seen Ronco pop, but it's not good. I don't think any graphic designer would look at that logo and say, "Yep, that's what a sign writer might do." For a logo, but yeah, it's just a shame. It says to me, okay, this is they didn't want to shell out a few $100 or whatever it is to get a designer to look over it.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear to read. People in chat are revolting against you. I'm gonna make that claim. Yeah, look, they're all disagreeing.
What do I know? What do I know? I've only been working in graphic design for over 20 years.
Bancroft shits on small time creator. Clip it. No, what? Someone asking who is it here? Bretsky was the great. What's wrong with it? Very curious.
The white outline.
Yeah. What would you do?
The black. What I would do is I would just get rid of the white outline. And definitely do not put a black hairline on the white outline. I would make the logo, I would just keep the black. I would invert it to white. But I would actually, because of the cool glowing effect, I'd probably put a cool kind of green glow on it.
Yeah, that would look sick to match that blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would look wicked.
See, this is what sign writers do a lot of the time. It's like it's unsophisticated, is what it is. And the Bastard Queen is fine. The actual arrangement of the letters is cool. It's a little bit it looks like a font, maybe. Yeah, see the two A's are exactly the same. So what I would do is I would hand draw it again, and I would make them. You could just it doesn't have to be very different, but just subtly different. So it was it has a hand drawn feel. You get some of that cool texture that's got in there, and it's just simpler. It's cleaner. It's nicer, and then it actually has a feeling to it.
Maybe the Groken font Bancroft for this. That looks sick.
No, I think the font itself is fine. Just roughen it up a bit more handmade, a bit more gritty, just like the art that it's sitting above. It's a real shame because it's beautiful artwork, and it's the composition is fantastic. But it's too big. The logo's way too big.
Jarro, do you want to DM it to me, man? I couldn't see it. I couldn't find it. I had a quick look. Lethal Diva says, I'm not sure it's hand drawn. I just think they made their own font and typed it on the cover. I think the cover's fantastic though. It's really, really nice. Your eyes are drawn to all the right areas at the right time. You're drawn to this girl, then you notice the creature behind her, and then the people in the back and the trees. It's really nice, man.
Yeah, it's really. I love that green glow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, so have we covered this? Do we need to go into any more detail on this? Donald DeLay says, why do people with failing campaigns think support needs to be quid pro quo?
You're not sharing that if you're not showing that if that's what you're reading from.
Really? Looks like I am to me. See it now?
Oh yeah, I couldn't see it earlier. Sorry. Yeah, you had it. I was looking at Piper's thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, well, no, I think that's it. People thought they were saying that, and maybe that's what they were, and they just weren't clear about what their meanings were. That's why Twitter is usually a pretty bad place to say this sort of stuff. No, I agree with that. backing people because you backing some expecting someone to back you because you back them, that sort of stuff. It's not any way to conduct a business. It's not any way to build a readership. It's not any way to go forward. Because you should be aiming to go big. It gets a point, like maybe if you're thinking about, oh, I'm going to get 30 backers, that's fine, but you should be hoping to get 300 or 3,000. And of course, at that point, it's not going to work. You can't back 3,000 people in the hope that they're going to back you. The numbers just don't pan out, and it's not even, just doesn't work like that. But I don't think that's what they were saying anyway.
I mean, I don't have any problems with the idea of buy one and have a look at another project that's smaller. I don't think there's anything wrong with that idea in its, but I don't know if it's going to really change anything.
Jasper, are you throwing shade at me?
The person offering advice to redraw the logo typeset his cover in Garamond standard. I know. I gave Mike such a good idea for his cover and logo, and he's like, "Nah, I like my idea better."
First of all, I'm not offering to redraw anything. Second of all, Garamond is a beautiful font. Third of all, it's not Garamond. So, there. Nothing wrong with using just a good, tried and true font for your anything, any graphic design. That's why they're tried and true. That's why they've been around for hundreds of years. It's not necessarily, you don't have to make this big flashy thing. I think in comic books, people go too overboard.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, I think this either just launched or... I always love how Rob shows how he's never watches my show.
Dude, you do too many shows. Like I don't have 12 hours a week to watch you just talking about stuff. This looks pretty good. What do you think of the logo? That's very busy.
Yeah, look, it's not normally, that's not like my kind of thing, but it definitely has a lot of personality in it. And it's comic booky, and it really fits with Donald's interiors.
I like the art,
which I think are amazing.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It's all over the top. It's crazy. I wouldn't do it for my own stuff, but I definitely have done stuff like I've done things like that in the past for t-shirts and stuff like that. So yeah.
So he's launched this on his own site, not on Indiegogo.
Well, this is like an ash can.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
And if it goes well, he'll do a full book thing.
Lethal Duper says, I think they're going for a Gru the Wanderer feel. All right, cool. What else did we have here? What were you commenting on Malin's post here? Crumb maidens, they'll try and beat your spirits down, turn any disappointment into envy and hatred. Most in the indie comic scene outside CG make less than $0. Debt-ridden creators. A CG book funded is a creator not in debt. More achieve profitability each year. Look at that.
You are going spicy.
Am I?
With the show. Yeah. Covering war campaign. All right.
Is this war campaign?
Yeah.
I don't know these things, Mike. I just bring things up and see what trouble I can get myself into.
I know, right? Yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing with these guys. It's like, let's pretend the only people in CG is Ethan. That's like usually the number one thing. Yeah. Or maybe Ethan, John, and Shane. They're the only people. Everyone else, and I don't know how many creators there are in CG anymore. It's been a long time since I counted, but years ago I counted there were at least 250 artists and writers working on CG books. You guess there's probably a lot more now. So there's a lot of things out there that, yeah, these people aren't aware of, aren't paying attention to. And there's so many massive success stories. But they're just going to focus on, oh look, the big guys are making this much. Here's a guy who's struggling to get funded. Therefore, Comicsgate is just a grift by the big guys, and everyone else is just begging on the floor next to the table for crumbs.
Right. That's crazy. I think you and I and Camel and people of that level, I guess, that are on the internet sometimes, like a fair bit, like we do really well. I don't feel like that.
Lots of people do really well. Lots of people do great.
Yeah.
Lots of people do great.
Yeah.
That's why it's silly.
I mean, the whole everyone in comics gate should make six figures is a bit ridiculous. Like, make six figures, you got to get there yourself. You got to work that. It's not gonna be an easy trek.
Well, as John points out, as opposed to what, which is my favorite saying to say, is like, well, who else out there in indie comics crowdfunding was ever making huge amounts of money anyway? Who could just come out of nowhere before CG? Who was able to just come out of nowhere and sell 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60? What's Murph up to? 70,000?
Yeah, if not
that
more,
didn't
man.
exist before. That didn't exist before your boy Zach launched one of the biggest crowd funds that everyone was talking about. I think it was Black. Was the comic, and it made like 90,000 or something. That was the.
Is that the one where only black people
90,000?
Is that the one where only black people have superpowers?
Yeah. Other people, I remember starting out in web comics, and there was a guy who had a Patreon, and he was making $150 on his Patreon. 150 every month for making his comic. And I would go and every day I would look at his Patreon and I would just say, one day, I hope I'll be able to make $150 a month from my book. And how times have changed. How many people in CG are making way more than that through their YouTube channels, through their Patreons, through whatever they're doing, commissions? I don't know. $150 a month is actually not that much if you're doing it, if you're approaching this thing like a business. And on top of that, people are making crazy amounts of money. Even newcomers making 10,000, 20,000, some of them even more than that. Just because there's some people who are still struggling does not negate all the other gains that we've made from so many people.
Bootleg says, wow, Kozor, never seen it before. It looks cool. Seriously, man, have you not seen this, or are you just are you taking the piss? Because I don't think
Bootleg. No, I think Bootleg. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bootleg. You came through Camel Knights. That's how you found us.
Go back it, man. It's a sick looking book, dude.
Yeah, and it's come out really well. The print looks gorgeous.
Yeah. Like
Corey actually says 90,000 is a lot. 90,000 is a huge amount for someone who's new. But the biggest books make over 1 million.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how much it's grown. So previously, the biggest books didn't even make over 100,000. Now they make over 1 million, and just other people, Clint Stoker.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like, it feels like back in the day. It feels like back in the day, it was so hard, and only the top dogs got to 100,000. But there are so many people now. Like, I did that video. There's like 25 people that have made 100,000, which is crazy.
Yeah.
God, I was gonna say, found you guys from EVS, then Camel.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried about how this was going to print, Mike, because it was very dark. but it looks amazing. They've shown me how it looks, and it looks top level, man. I think people are going to be blown away when they get this. And they're shipping it now. Yeah, they're shipping it now, Phil. So they're shipping it to the guy who's shipping it out. So it should be hopefully in
once was a
hands
ship that went to sea.
in like months, or like a month, I'd say. Jaro says, I remember the big pre-CG crowdfund books like Sullivan Sluggers, which made 90K and everyone was losing their minds. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Scurry. I don't know if it made 100,000, but it made a lot of money. But keep in mind that was a big hardcover collected thing with a slip case and everything. But I remember Black. Black was, that's all any website was talking about. This incredible, massive crowdfund for, and I can't remember who it was. It was either Kwanzaa or Ta-Nehisi Coates or someone, and it was the bee's knees. It was the big thing. And now 90,000 is, if you're on the King's show, most of those guys get somewhere near there or more than it.
Yeah. Mobig says Black wouldn't have gotten that much money without creative tier names like 40 Acres and a Mule tier.
That's a lyric, isn't it?
I don't know. Sam Rogers says Gary Shipman was rejected by Zoop. I don't. Who is that?
Really? Gary Shipman, again. Rob never watches the channel. Gary Shipman makes the mouse book. He's a comic book veteran. He's got a bunch of his books out, and I'm just thinking, I wonder what the criteria is for making it onto Titan Mouse. That's it. Yeah. Making it onto Zoop is
40% Zed says, my criticism is that the big CG names failed to establish the promised raft. It's more of a bring your own raft flotilla. What do you think of that? Think of that, Bancroft?
I don't think there ever really was a promised raft. I don't think that was, I mean, how would that even work? You can't just say, okay, you become CG, you're gonna have a career. I think all the promise ever was you're not going to get blacklisted for having quote unquote controversial political beliefs or that sort of stuff. So no, I always looked at it like that. You got to build your own audience. I think that was back in the day. It was even crazier. People would say, I remember Malin would say, don't launch your book unless you have 20,000 subs or access to a show that has 20,000 subs. You remember that? And they used to say, don't launch until you have at least 300 signups. So
now it's
actually
100.
used to be a bit, people used to be a bit harsher on that front. But no, I think the promise is, the proof is in the pudding. If you put in the work, if you can convince enough people to invest in what you're doing, you can make a real decent go with through CG.
Yeah, and like I kind of feel like you build your own audience, but the audience that you're building for yourself, a lot of it does come from those larger guys too. Like you see that whenever you stream and Ethan's streaming, half of your audience goes and watches Ethan because that's where they came from the start. So I mean, there's a huge benefit for us, I think. Anyway, I think it's worth it. It's some Mark Brooks stuff. That's funny. Oh my god, I played that yesterday. That clip. That's funny. PTP is like 17,000 away from 100K, which is quite. I didn't realize he was that close. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's getting up there. PTP used to always be the guy who puts out 3 or 4 campaigns in a year and makes 20 to 30,000 on all of them. He's getting himself up there. If he can keep that pace up,
yeah,
he could be he could be one of the big players. Definitely.
Yeah, he's definitely getting out more work than the majority. Graham Nolan is doing really well on that front too. I think
And Mo
Shane
just
is doing
pointed
really
out
well.
death just broke 70,000.
Sweet, let's bring that up.
Oh
too.
yeah, we're all there's just it's Ethan, Shane, and a bunch of crumb maidens. Give me them 70k crumbs, please.
Oh
I'll
mate,
take that.
I'll take those 70k crumbs all day, and I'll be happy about it. I'm like, please, I want some more.
It's like, what do you mean? If you're not making 200,000, you just suck. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
No. Do we want to talk about the Mark Brooks Ethan thing?
And the chat can talk about it. I think I've said everything I need to say on it. It's let's talk about what happens with Mark Brooks now.
Can we just witness this post that I made?
You're very proud of that tweet. It's a good tweet.
Well,
it's pretty shocking, isn't it?
It was a quick throwaway tweet, man. It was a quick throwaway tweet. I didn't put much effort into it.
Yeah. Well, that's usually the ones that go viral. We all age. We all get thicker as we're men. That's what we do. But yeah, the difference of Mark Brooks from back in the day to now is stark. I found an image of him.
There's one where he's at a con and he looks like a completely different person.
Yeah, he's got that long hair.
Yeah. Jasper says that's one of Rob's most clever tweets. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Is that this one here? I mean, yeah. Let me share this. Hold on a sec. This one's blurry. I can't find a better version of it, but where is it? I hate how they in StreamYards they changed share to present.
I know. It's so much weaker than share. Dave says a quality book made by a creator who isn't comfortable on streams has less chance of succeeding than a lesser quality book with a very entertaining creator. Quality doesn't always rule. Yeah, dude, and I would say it's probably 95% marketing over quality. I really do think that.
To a point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who is that guy?
I know, right? It doesn't look that long ago either, does it?
Dude, it doesn't look
How many years
like
back
the guy.
are we talking? 3, 4, 5?
That's crazy.
Jaro says, "Speak for yourself, Bancroft. I get leaner and meaner." Well, I'm down 16 kilos.
Really?
I've still got.
How fat did you get?
Pretty
Dude,
fat.
For everyone who's wondering, 16 kilos is probably about 40 pounds.
It's 33 pounds, I think.
No, it's not.
I think.
It's 2.2 pounds to a kilo. So do your math. Yeah. That is crazy. How crazy is that?
But what's going to happen to Mark Brooks now? Because he's going to get the call from Marvel saying,
"Do you reckon he will?"
Bruh, yeah. Oh yeah, bruh. Are you being serious here? You jumping onto, and like Ethan said this. No offense to Well Read, but it's not like he's this. I had to get on this big platform. He's a small YouTuber. So, what's he doing? Why are you doing this? Why?
How did it happen? Like, how did he get Mark Brooks on?
Well, he's been asking Mark Brooks for months.
Right. Okay.
And I guess he just eventually relented. What do you like? They're going to call him up and say, "What are you doing? Getting into a screaming match with Ethan Van Sciver on the internet?"
I love the bit where it devolves straight away into "fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you." Oh, I thought that was great. It was fun. I enjoyed
Skip
that.
says, if EVS and Mark Brooks cared about their fans, they'd stream together weekly. Could you imagine? It could actually be brilliant. That would be so good.
It would be great, wouldn't it? I'd like to see a proper debate.
No, there's nothing to debate. There's nothing to debate. I tried to do. I did a video today and I actually recorded it twice. It really annoyed me because I tried to do a more of a like a explanation kind of take. There's nothing there. It's like here's a guy being a dick on the internet, thinking he's some righteous guy, completely ignoring the fact that he's spent. It's actually more than 10 months. It's actually closer to. No, it actually is 10 months. Sorry, I'm an idiot. It's spending the last 10 months going around just taking unnecessary pot shots at people on the internet. And it's like, you can say, okay, well, fine. CG takes pot shots at people CG doesn't like on the internet, but you can give it back and we're not going to cry.
Yeah, dude.
We're not going to like go, oh, what are you doing? You're harassing me on the internet. Like, he didn't have to do any of this. He could have just not said anything. No one would have ever bothered him.
It's so
It's all of his own making.
Yeah.
D said for D's left a member thing. He said the Mark thing is madness. EVS laid it down like a super chat, and he also gifted 5 memberships. Hail D, you legend.
Man. We've hit 55 members
Sark,
now. It's going so well.
Woo! Sark, Sumo, 7, Elka Nemo, and Vera Kusaki.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, but he's also like, he's getting personal. He's getting into it with people's wives. He's talking about people's kids.
That pisses me off, man. I mean, like, I can understand going for the wife, right? It's not cool, but kids, man, should be off limit under all.
And now he's challenging people to fight. So yeah, Lethal Diva has it. I wouldn't want Mark Brooks working for my company. He's a PR nightmare waiting to happen, challenging everyone to fights and going on these small-time shows, embarrassing himself and Marvel. Yeah, his Marvel's sort of face. That's why you can't do it if you work for a company like Marvel, because everyone knows you work for Marvel. You're sort of representing them out there, and you're representing them by just getting onto a stream and going, fuck you, I'm going to fight you at New York Comic Con. It's a PR nightmare. Like, you can do it if you're an independent guy because you don't have anyone to answer to. That's the difference.
Camel says he's Ezra Miller of Marvel.
So what's he gonna do? Like, he's just gonna put out the next cover and it's all gonna be fine? I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe I think it was a massive mistake for him to do this. Massive.
I don't think
error,
going after CG people is smart, because for starters, like, we're used to it, right? The amount of abuse that we cop and banter that we cop, like, we're born in this now. We're molded by it. Mark got upset apparently because Ethan tweeted something mean at him like 4 times, right? How's he gonna handle it when all of CG go after him now?
Yeah, but why was Ethan talking about him in the first place? Because he's talking shit on Comicsgate.
Didn't he start with Dal Keown? Like, was that the starting point? I mean, like,
yeah,
come on, man.
No, actually, it was before that. He said, I just spent back in December of 21, he sent out a series of tweets saying, I just spent a couple of hours delving into this dark corner of bigoted comic book people and blah, 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 blah. And that's where it's sort of like, we're not saying any shit about you. What's going on here? Like, why are you doing this? And then, of course, you shoveling shit over the internet wall, some of it gets thrown back at you. And of course, one of those people would have definitely been Ethan. And it sounds like they had some prehistory anyway, because you don't just come up with these ideas all by itself. Although Anna let slip that she was on a stream with him way back in the day, and he was saying stuff against woke stuff back in the day. So we can only surmise that he has already had a talking to saying, you got to distance yourself from those people in that community and those arguments. Otherwise, yeah, you won't be getting any work from the big two.
I thought
that's all you can surmise.
I thought it was hilarious that he was calling Ethan's art shit. I thought that was pretty, like, I mean, dislike Ethan all you want, but calling his art shit and a shit artist, I'm like, come on, man.
Well, I mean,
Come on, man.
this is I don't mind all that stuff. It's fine. But what happens is if you're an artist and you're doing that, you're opening the floodgate of people to come after you and say that shit about your art. And like, you wouldn't want to go out and start calling out a guy like Ethan's art, because he's not someone who's just going to take that and not hit back. He's going to hit back in a very big, public, entertaining, funny way. He's going to make a lol cow out of you. He's going to make a meme of you. He's going to take you down. So
But
it's
not just
it's
him.
like,
Everyone.
it's just
Everyone is going to meme him
dumb.
now.
Yeah. He's become he's become a lol cow. But he did it to himself. He didn't have to do any of this. This is what's so mysterious about it all. He didn't have to do any of it. Could have just kept his mouth shut. How many people are professionals working in the industry that CGers are big fans of? There's plenty. Because they don't get into any of this. They're not on Twitter every day lobbing little hand grenades and giggling.
I think Crackhead said earlier it's kind of like Donny Cates 2.0. Yeah, he said that. I'm like, but the Donny Cates thing, that was funny. I don't know if this Mark Brooks thing is like amusing. I think it's kind of almost sad. Dave Fee says, I love the part of make a comic coming from a cover artist. That was pretty funny too.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, Ethan should have just said, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like you think you know what to say afterwards. You should have said, you first, Mark. You first.
That's the good thing. Alithadu says Anna pissed him off. She says she keeps saying he's tracing. LOL. That's the cool thing about Anna. She doesn't have like she doesn't really what's one word we're looking for. She's not from the mainstream, so she doesn't really have any. What's the word I'm looking for here? Bancroft of the professionals. There's no
courtesy.
Yeah. She'll just say what she wants to say. She'll just say what she wants to say. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, if you can't take it, don't dish it out in the first place. That's so true. It's just funny.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's say Comicsgate do dish it out, but we expect to get it back.
Yeah, like Mortal V was saying before, like Mark Brooks freaks out when he gets called fat once. Ethan gets called fat 100 times a day. I mean, come on, man.
I put it in my video. I said, "There's this war going on. You got the grand culture war. Imagine this massive battle that's happening, and it's the culture war. And there's all sorts of different fronts on this war. There's fronts in movies, television, novels, comics, art, everything. We're currently fighting on the comic book front. That's what we're doing. We chose to do that. We chose to say, no, I see what you're doing here. I see you're trying to completely take over comic books. We don't want that. We're going to fight back in whatever way we can. So we're just involved in this kind of skirmish on YouTube and on Twitter with these people, and have been for years and years and years. Now, no one's forcing anyone to get involved in this. If you don't want to get involved, don't get involved. Mark Brooks is involving himself in it, has been regularly for 10 months, and also now has started to say, oh, there's no such thing as the culture war. It's not even happening. It's not even real. It's like you are actually participating in it. He's talking about there's this group of bigoted comic book fans and creators over here. And, they're like, you got to stay away from it. This is all like, it's all silliness. It's all silliness.
Mo said
all
earlier,
self-inflicted wounds too.
Mo said earlier, I forgot to bring it up. He said he's getting day letters now, not night letters. It's pretty funny.
Not when you read it.
Right. Wow. There you go. Thanks, man. Mark, 40% said Mark has personality disorders. Jay Ryan says, arguing on the internet is like being in the Special Olympics because even if you win, you're still retarded. This is death. Is it 70 grand? That's the thing, man. Like, it feels like there is no way you can argue that CG is not growing because more people are hitting 100K, more people are breaking the 50K mark. It is definitely growing. Do you agree? Surely you agree.
It's growing for some people.
Oof.
It's not growing for everyone.
God damn. Bancroft just gutted all of Comicsgate in one fell comment like that.
What do you mean? Is that not obvious?
Suck.
Is that not what we should want? Should we not want that?
Yeah, I guess we should.
Meritocracy first. I feel like Joe Ball is finally hitting the numbers he could have always been getting if enough people knew about what he was doing. Jeremy says it's hard to tell. Sometimes it feels like it's growing. Sometimes it feels like it's shrinking. I think I think what you're describing there is it's changing. It's, if you go back, someone was talking about earlier, like the raft of Comicsgate. Remember back in the day how there were only 7 creators making CG books, and one guy could get them all on his channel, and sort of everyone was there. So it was all in one place, and there was this amazing energy that was surrounding it, and everyone was being attacked, and it was fueling a lot of, like, there's nothing like that anymore. That time is gone, and now we've got to sort of we're looking forward to long-term things, logistics, and breaking into new spaces on the internet, all that sort of stuff. I think what happens is it's changing, and along the way, I think on balance, merit is winning out, and customer service is winning out, and consistency is winning out, and people who are able to fulfill on what they promise is winning out. It's not like a perfect linear trajectory. It's like a winding road.
That's fair. I mean, with death, I think the fact that he's made 55 grand in demand is really impressive, and it fills me with hope. I think next year, Bancroft, is going to be a really big year for CG. I think it's going to be a massive year. It's going to be interesting, though, because I think a lot of people are going to try Kickstarter. A lot of people are going to try Zoop and their own stores. So how are we going to collate all the data of how much money we've actually made in CG? It's going to be tough. Who's going to do that?
Nodsabot.
Someone's going to have to. I've been thinking for Cyberfrog 3, I think he's going to make $2 million.
Why do you do this, Rob?
Why what?
Why not just say 100 million?
No, I think 2 million is how he can do it.
I think a lot of that has to do with how well received Wrecked Planet is. And Ethan's in a situation where a lot of people are, they're annoyed with him over how late the book is, and they'll be wondering, is this next book going to be late too? So personally, I think Ethan is up to the task. He's a master marketer. He's very convincing when he needs to be. And yeah, as long as Wrecked Planet is everything he promised it is, I don't see why he wouldn't do just as well. But to say he'll double his funds, I mean, I can't. The thing about when you're up at that tier, that high, there's every new backer is harder to get. It's like, so for guys like us it's actually quite possible to double what we did on the last campaign, because we're talking.
I've done that a few times.
Exactly.
It's great.
But for someone like Shane, John, Ethan, Zach to double their backers, where are they going to get them from? They have to find people.
Ripper.
Yeah, but we've seen that before. Like, they're Rippers fans.
Yeah, but there is some crossover. I mean,
There is some.
Dude, I think he could do it. Why you got to hate on that? Why you got to hate on the fact that it could happen? Hey?
Well, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I don't know. I do know that I don't like to make bold predictions about what campaigns are going to do before they go live. That makes me uncomfortable. But
that's
I
more
think
me kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, for those guys, like, it's harder because the higher you get, it's there's fewer people that you have access to convince. So a guy like me, if I get onto Ethan's show to sell my book, I'm selling it to people who otherwise wouldn't have seen me. Where's Ethan gonna go?
Ripper.
To do the same thing.
I reckon Ripper will promote it. I really do. Like, I mean, Ethan's done it. I think Ripper returned the favor. I think there's a chance. Pete Callan says Lucent 2, 267,000 or bust. Mike, what do you think of that?
I don't think anything of that.
I would like. You said this is pointless, but I would like to see someone debate Mark Brooks.
Why?
Because I think it would be entertainment, and I know a lot of people would say Ethan.
No, it would be boring, and it would be because the reasons that people are now standing on opposite sides of the culture war is because that they have fundamental different worldviews, fundamentally different. The values are not the same. It's literally a case of we don't want the same things in life. We don't. It's right down to your bones. So arguing over this and that, it'll just devolve into a he said, she said, tit for tat. You said this, you said that nonsense. There's no like, it's you know what it's be like? It's like an atheist and a Christian sitting down having a debate over whether or not God exists. It's an absolute waste of time, because the two people have fundamentally different worldviews, and you can't argue someone out of a worldview just by presenting a verbal argument. It's not going to happen. So it would be boring. It would be pointless.
We don't have to change his view, but we can change the view of people watching.
I don't think that. I think everyone has decided. People who kind of get red pilled, they have to want it. They have to already have their minds open. Usually when people get red pilled on this stuff, it's they're sensible people to begin with. They've just been indoctrinated into some false belief, and they didn't realize, oh, that's bullshit. Oh, and that's bullshit too. What else is bullshit? And then they go looking themselves and investigating. So yeah, they you have to kind of want it. I just don't see it happening. I don't see the point of it. I think it's much, much better to just laugh, point out the hypocrisy, point out the silliness, and monetize it and make a lot of money off it.
People are saying you can't have a debate because Mark will just shout over them. Like a proper debate, man. Like you have a minute to say whatever you want, then the other person talks, you mute the other person. I reckon it'll be fun. And my choice for person who would pick, Mike, who do you think I'd choose?
John
Malin. You're damn right. I think John would be great at debating him. I think it would be really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Schneely has it right. It says Bancroft is correct. That's all I want to say. No, it says even the same words have different meanings to these people. Exactly. We can't even agree on the basic meaning of words. We can't agree that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. How are we going to come to agreement on subtle things happening over time in the comic book industry, and the difference between pointing and laughing at people, or critique and harassment, or a joke that was said on the internet versus a threat, like all this. It would be complete and utter pointlessness, in my opinion.
But wouldn't it be entertaining though? Wouldn't you? You'd
No,
watch it.
I don't find these things entertaining. I probably wouldn't even watch it.
Really?
It would be cringy to me. I would much rather watch what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
With two people just saying "fuck you, fuck you." It was like,
that was fun.
At least then it's fun and funny.
That was fun.
And it's like, unless like Ethan couldn't lose that. That's the thing, and that's how that's set up. Like Ethan can't lose that. Why can't he lose that? Because Ethan is free. Ethan is his own boss. Yeah. Whereas Mark has to toe the corporate line and put on the good PR face and all that sort of stuff. So it's like he's destined to lose. So that's why it's funny. Like all Mark has to do to lose is turn up, and all Ethan has to do to win is turn up. So that's why, like, that's better.
All right. I mean, I would find it entertaining. Boots and Heels, Camel Moon is launching on the 14th of October, 12 p.m. I think it is, EST noon. I mean, way to confirm that for me, Bancroft. He's launching on your channel. You should know.
Oh, you were talking to me?
Yeah. He's got this sensational cover by Dan Lawless. It looks great, man. He was showing that off earlier. Link is down below. Make sure you sign up for it. He's trying to get to 500. He was at 430, I think, something like that. He's doing well. He's got to get to 500. What are Marvel going to do to him, though? Like, we didn't really come to a conclusion there. Are they going to...
Well, we don't know. We don't know. They might just sweep it under the rug. It all happened on a not too big of a channel. People have already got... They already got Ethan blocked. Maybe they just pretend it never happened. I don't know.
How much are the issues of Boots and Heels? I don't know. You'd have to ask Camel on that one, mate. They won't fire him though, will they? They'll just sweep it under the rug, won't they?
He's not. No, he's not. He's not an employee. He's
contractor.
He's a contractor. That's why I think he does this stuff. That's why I think he takes pot shots, because he's a straight white man who is working in the industry, taking money away from poor, underprivileged minorities. And so he has to make it clear what side of history he's on. That's why I think he takes these pot shots as CG. So, the right people see, oh, he's a good guy. He's one of the good guys. He's one of the good straight white men.
But don't you think that's more dangerous though? Because he's a contractor. Like, they could just not give him work. It's not like he's an employee that they have to give work to. They can just go, Mark, this is not worth it for us anymore. They don't even have to say that. They just have to stop giving him covers.
I mean, I don't know. This is like a wait and see. Everything is speculation.
That's the fun part.
But look, all we know is that Donny Cates used to have a channel.
Mm-hmm.
He called up Ethan drunk.
God, that was the
made
best.
A massive fool of himself.
That was the best.
And
stream.
now he's not on YouTube at all. No one ever really hears from him anymore. No, he never really says anything against CG. And he used to be one of those guys who said a lot of stuff, and now mum's the word. So We can only assume that, yeah, he got the call saying, "What are you doing? Why are you causing us headaches and trouble
Mate,
unnecessarily?"
our covers, like yours and mine, that we get for our campaigns are better than Mark Brooks's covers. I don't believe his are better than ours.
I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to get into the quality of the art or anything like that. That's all sort of irrelevant. Different strokes for different folks. That like, I have a hot take on that. What was it? Was it Robin comic book? The one that's sort of drawn like a slice of life thing.
Oh, that is terrible, man.
Yeah, I didn't even mind that art. Like, whatever. It's just not a superhero comic book art. It's for a slice of life gay romance comic. Would
Dude,
work perfectly.
I have friends that are gay. They're normal people. They're normal guys who just happen to like other guys. Like, they're not these prancy dance around the bushes kind of fairies that they seem to make them out in that art. I'm like, that's terrible. How are people not offended by this? I don't get it. You've seen it?
I've seen it.
The art's shocking. I don't know if chat has seen it. If they want me to bring it up, let me know. Talk to us about this, man. How is this going?
I think I'm at 1,020 signups. I'm currently working on page 84. I'm still doing backgrounds. I'm still on my background kick, but I'm up to page 84 of 90. I'm starting to think about tiers now. I'm thinking there's going to be the book, so you just get the book. The book 1 and 2. I want to do, where is it? Where did I put it? I want to do this, which is a hardcover black and white edition of 1 and 2. So no text, just line art. It won't be as big as this. This would be really expensive. So it'll be larger than a comic book, but probably A4 size or something like that. As an added option. Bunch of other stuff. I know I'm all just brainstorming at the moment.
We should do a stream on it if you want to talk about it. I know some people want to keep all this stuff.
We can do it when we do the draw stream. We can get into it a little bit.
Yeah, because I find it really interesting, and I think it's good to get chat's involvement too. Yeah, so if you haven't already signed up for this, I'm sure everyone in chat has. I'll put the link here. No, that's a StreamYard link. Don't go to that one.
Good one, Rob.
Classic Rob.
Can you delete that?
No, I can't. So we're gonna get people popping in here probably.
I think you can. Anyway.
Mortal V says Rob says, I have friends that are gay. I mean, look at you, Michael. That's clever. Well done. Look at this thing, man.
I know. I like the backgrounds. What can I say? I think they're well drawn.
Look how
I don't mind.
they are.
Yeah, but that's a style. This is obviously stylized.
Yeah.
Again,
it's not
suitable.
To make them look feminine.
Well, that's what they're trying to do, though. They're trying to make them look feminine. I'm talking about just the art. I'm not talking about what they're doing. I'm just talking about the actual lines, the look of it, or whatever. Yeah. I think it's perfectly acceptable as a sort of, I don't know, what, like Archie kind of comic. I don't know. Nothing I would read. But that's right. I mean, I don't want to really get into all this, like this art is better than that art. People love all kinds of art that I go, it's not really my thing. I wouldn't really.
Girly art.
I wouldn't really. Yeah, it's girly art. Exactly. It's girly. It's not my thing.
All right. Replicator 4, I just updated it with colors.
Oh, whoa, hey.
Looks really nice. Look at that. You know what's irritating about this? They're like, make an image 1280 by 440 or whatever it was. So I do it exactly as they tell me, and it cuts off half the image. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
You just make a normal image and just have whatever is going to be in the center. That's what you want.
Anyway, so that's done. We're past 430 signups. I think I have to double check, but it's going really well. You need a mailing list, people. Really, you really do. If you don't have one, start making one. I sent out an email today, and I got 20 or 30 signups, which is huge. So if you don't have one, start working on it, and please sign up to this, because I want people to back it, and it's gonna be sick. It's looking great already. We've got a ton of it done, and that's it. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really cool.
Rob,
Mike,
are we going to even talk about the most important news of the day?
what?
Oh my god! I mean,
If you bring up Bumble again, I'm just gonna end the stream. Is that what you're doing?
Share my screen.
Is that what you're doing? So everyone, thank you so much. There's 75 people here. Please hit like and subscribe. Consider being a member. This
122 subscribers.
This is Michael Bancroft's Rumble. It was nice seeing everyone. Bye.